Welcome back, one and all, from up close and far, far away, to Let's Replay Dragon Force 2 Izumo Edition. And look at Ayame here, growing up fast, upgrading to ghosts and birds. Gonna be top tier in no time if I can help it. And Bart's haven't had much for him to do right now. Still don't have much for him to do right now. But it's because we don't really need his help right now. We're trying to focus on the folks who need it the most. So basically not anybody I'm looking at right here. And look at Kaede here with her falcons. I think we're gonna switch out the horsemen, yep. Ranged plus flying is a combination we don't want to pass up. And that's Kinsera there, slowly catching up with everybody else. Been sending him on a lot of one-man missions, and oh, we forgot a dark elf, so he's got one more to take care of. It shouldn't be anybody too important over there. I think it's Gaston. No, his name always makes me think of a Disney character. It's Bastol, who should be easy enough for our dragon man to take care of. So that's what he's gonna be doing. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with everybody else, because we've got Autovac of Tristan up top there. Doesn't have too many people at his side right now, but he has another castle or two further away. And I'm thinking I might want to take the long way around to deal with them first and save him for last. You know, want to maximize our experience here. So while I'm getting everything together with that, I want to discuss something with you guys. And given the fact that everything moves at the speed of life these days, this discussion is going to be coming a bit late and after the fact, I know, but I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen that video that went viral recently. The man punching the kangaroo in the face to rescue his dog. It's probably up to 500 billion views by now. We'll know, but yeah, I'm curious. What did you guys think about that? Because I know I'm not the only one who watched that. Excuse me, it's kind of hard not to laugh thinking about it right now. It's just not something I ever thought I would see, you know? And the thing with clips like that, you only get a snippet of what actually happened, so it's easy to interpret it in a lot of different ways. I know that there was an official news story coming out about the tragic story behind the event and what led to it. But the thing is, I've learned from experience, and the film Wag the Dog, that the news is less than honorable and full of integrity and honesty, and apt to display something that is not quite the actual event or a retelling of something other than how it actually took place. So with that having been said, for all we know, this guy was a hunter of some sort, and these were hunting dogs, and he was killing kangaroos. I don't know. I don't assume. See, that's the thing. I'm just offering up a possibility. I don't know what actually happened, and I don't pretend to know. And I know just because somebody said this is what happened, that doesn't mean that's what happened. All that having been said, it was interesting to watch. I mean, I really can't, fault the guy. And I gotta give him credit at least. I mean, it's easy to say, oh, that guy, he punched the kangaroo, he's a terrible person. But I mean, to be fair, he was just saving his dog, who, if left to his own devices, probably wouldn't have stood a chance, because that kangaroo looked like it had a pretty tight grip on him. And I never realized how strong those things are. I mean, I assumed they were tough. Most wild mammals are, them being a marsupial, but did you see that thing? I mean, it looks like it's been hitting the gym. When it stood up to the guy, I mean, looked like it was ready to flex somebody. I mean, but then again, there's the whole kickboxing kangaroo thing. I didn't realize, I didn't know how much of that was fiction versus fact. But apparently there's something to that, because yeah, they look like they could take you 1-to-1. It was probably shocked that somebody actually stood up to it. Just probably used to freaking people out. And it's just like bullies in school. That's what it made me think of, A lot of so-called bullies are really just people who were bullied at some point themselves, probably by family or somebody close to them. So they take it out on other people, keep that energy going, until somebody nips it in the bud. Just standing up to so-called bullies, I found in experience, is enough to quell that fire right there. Just somebody having the nerve, the audacity to look them in the eye and go, no. Usually you don't even have to lift your fists up, just the fact that you stood there firm unshaken, unscared. That's all it takes. So I think that's why the kangaroo backed off. And it was a good thing to see. It was a good lesson in a sense. And I appreciate the fact that, again, whether he was a hunter or not, he obviously had weapons on him and nearby. So again, other people, less patient people, more anxious people would have easily just grabbed a weapon, particularly a gun, and they would have taken care of the kangaroo that way, so-called solved the problem. So let's just be thankful, regardless of how you feel about the guy, whether he was a hero or a cruel example of cruel humanity. At least he didn't just outright kill the kangaroo. He just wanted his dog back, and he achieved that. And you know, it was as close to a happy ending as you're going to get out of that scenario. You know, anytime man meets nature, there's always that recipe for potential disaster. So thankfully, everybody got away safely in the end. So, and we got an entertaining video out of it. So there you go. Everybody wins. So anyway, I just wanted to talk on that because it's rare that those trending or viral videos really strike any sort of a chord with me. I usually don't even watch them. They're not interesting to me, but that one I felt like it was worth spending a few minutes on, which I've probably done more than at this point. And okay, back to the game. Who's in this castle? Glitty, Kaede, Mark. Okay, with the exception of Mark, notice all the elderly generals in that castle. Is Autobach raising an old folks home? Because he's not a spring chicken himself, you know. Oh, man. Insert No Country for Old Men joke right about here. But anyway, back to the battle. We have Kinsera, who is, in the midst of my rambling, reached Bozak, where Bastol is raising a ruckus. Magic user gone bad with his ogres and his zombies. The zombies in particular will stand no chance against the dragons. In fact, in the immortal words of Fist of the North Star, they're already dead. The ogres, however, are one of the few units who can stand up toe-to-toe, literally, with the dragons, so that could go either way. Because of this, we're going to use our ever-useful split formation. I've got dragons, but we've got group 1 going for the enemy general. The other group's going to stand back and take care of the troops eventually. Actually, yeah, group 2 is going to ignore them and go for the general. Group 1, they're going to deal with them, because that's kind of what's already happening. Kinsera's MP, I'm going to conserve it just in case. I don't think I'll need it, so that's more so if he runs into any fights on the way back to Izumo. Because it's a magic user, but Stoll is not going to be a powerhouse in the physical department, so if it goes to a duel, which it probably won't, because look at the dragons, they hit like anvils, courtesy of Acme, so there's only one way this is going to end. And Kinsera there taking a bit of a licking, but sturdy as ever he is. Oh, I'm just kind of taking it easy here. Suffered a bit of a leg knee injury recently. Nothing too serious. Thankfully not so serious that I had to go to the doctor or do surgery or anything, but serious enough to where I kind of got grounded for a few days. Which isn't bad because it's allowed me to catch up on things like, I don't know, rest. Been taking it really easy. And I've also caught up on some Let's Plays. Something that I enjoy that I seldom have the time for these days. So many that I had started watching and I was enjoying, but just had to let fall by the wayside due to lack of minutes and seconds and hours. See my previous episode for the little mini rant about that. But you know, it got me wondering and curious how some old LPers have been doing that I had saw from way back in the day. And come to find out, one of them, as far as I can tell, is not even around anymore, which is unfortunate. I think his name was Wolfos. He did Shining Force LPs. He started a Let's Play of Shining Force CD, which unfortunately he never finished, but there was some really good commentary in that, and then I always enjoy listening to the music of that game, and since I didn't really want to start a playthrough of my own, I was going to just watch an episode or two for old time's sake and Unless it's been renamed or retitled. Maybe he has a new name, but as far as I can tell, it's not up anymore, so. Or maybe it's just buried deep beneath the YouTube search, because, you know, YouTube goes through so many phases and changes. It's hard to keep up with. You know, their algorithms, you know, it's Rubik's Cube unto itself, so. Hopefully he's still around, but as far as I can tell, he is MIA, which is unfortunate, because he had some good content up. I'm trying to remember what the first LP was that I ever saw. The earliest ones that I can recall, I don't know if they were the first, but the ones that first come to mind were PokeCaptain's Let's Play Sonic 2006, the legendary LP. Extremely funny to watch. I usually don't take amusement out of the suffering of others, but that's a special case. Because anytime you endure that train wreck, there will be tragedy and trauma. And teardrops, many, many teardrops. And then also, thinking back, Robo Baggins, Shining Force 3, Let's Play them all. Gotta give that man props. He was the first one to cover the entire 3-part game in English and the premium disc. You know, back in its early stages, the first one to show off the whole patch. So, if you haven't checked out his LP, it's very long, but it's very fun to listen to. He has very amusing commentary. And yeah, fellow music lover, so check him out. He is still around. And who else? Marauder EX, I know he was one of the first LPers too. I'm trying to remember what the first series of his was that I watched, because I've watched quite a few of his. Quite a few. I'm thinking it was Shining the Holy Art. Yeah, because his LP actually helped me with that game. It was one of the few in my Saturn collection that I was not able to complete. Partly because of the TV that I had at the time. For those of you who played that game, there's a puzzle in the Tower of Illusion that you have to complete in order to get into the tower. And because of the resolution on my television, for some reason, it made it very hard to read the slates in the sand. There's these stone slabs that have clues to the puzzle. It's all about placement. And because I couldn't read them, I didn't know which direction I had to go, what order I had to move. Thanks to his LP, I was able to figure it out, so I was able to finish the game. So thank you for that. So yeah, LP's more than entertainment. Back to the game though, kind of on autopilot here. What's going on? Okay, Avers versus Mark. Yeah. Mark looks like he was originally from Highland himself. I think that he's engaged to Fionn, according to the story. He's, I guess he's so-so. He's not really good, he's not really bad. He starts at a high level, which is a plus. And that's really all I can say. Basic fighter unit. Not somebody I've ever really bothered to use, but he's there. Feel free. Yeah, this is a basic by the numbers. I would say it's an even match, except it's not because it's Avers, so he's kind of win. Even if I wasn't using him. I've talked about this before in one of my playthroughs, I'm sure, but the game really seems to favor Avers. I mean, he doesn't have the best stats, but the man can't lose. At least it seems very hard for him to do that. So if there's anybody regarding my Monarchs that I'm going to be a little reckless about sending into duels where they seem to have the undisputed disadvantage in terms of health or something, yeah, it'll be him, because he just always seems to come out on top no matter what. But I know there are exceptions to every rule, so I'm sure I'll be the one to expose that exception when the time comes. You know, sending him out with 10 HP and expecting him to win. But if anybody can, yeah, our Highland hero can. And I think this will be a great time to finish the fight. I think that'll be enough. Come on, yes. Yep, he mentioned Fionn there, so there's our confirmation. So that's 2 down. Up next is Mitsuhide. What are you doing all the way in Tristan? First, Bozak, Izumo, make up your mind. Okay, against him, I think Fujimaru would be a good pick. No story dialogue, though. I was kind of hoping for that. But it's fair, just because they're from the same territory doesn't mean that they necessarily know each other. You know, who knows everybody in their city or town? Well, if it's small enough, I guess there are some. If there are any small towners out there watching this video, can you just tell us what that's like? Because I've never experienced life in a small town. I've always lived in big cities or medium cities or small cities, but always cities. At least once in my life, I would like to experience that small town, rural life. You know, where everybody knows your name, that sort of thing. I would like to see what that's like. I can imagine the pluses and minuses on both sides of it, but I think it would still be fun. I'd like to think at least people can't get away with as much BS because there's always going to be somebody to rat them out. You know, I think a lot of the unsavory things that people do, they do simply because they feel like they can get away with it. And if you remove that, then I think a lot more morals and ethics enter into our behaviors and personalities. Not everybody, but the majority of us. I mean, look at the internet here where, you know, people will just type any old thing because anonymity. Yeah. You know, imagine if privacy and security or lack thereof got to the point where your location and name was reported every time you visited a website, every time you made a comment, made a post. Would people say half of the things that they do? Or even 80%, 90%? Probably not. You know, but people feel safe behind the shadows of their screen and will just be the biggest jerks ever. Not everybody, but a lot of people. Which kind of makes me wonder, is the internet sort of not a lie detector test, but a true personality unveiler? Because if it is, what does that say about a lot of us? Best not to think about it, right, Mitsu? Yeah, now the way he's talking, he's going to die, but it's 50-50 with him. Thankfully he didn't, because he's good for searching, and I'd like to use him for that. As well as Glitty, who, yeah, it's the same in every sense. Glitty can also be slain. He's also a great searcher, so we would like him to survive this fight. With that in mind, I'm going to send out Ganges, who can dispatch him very easily. Now, Glitty does have access to healing and revive. Hopefully he will use revive to expend all of his MP in a hurry. And I think we're just going to go ahead and take him out and take our chances. I don't want him to die, but you know, things happen. Good things happen, bad things happen, all things happen. It's unavoidable. And he doesn't have many troops, so there's not much he can really do for himself. The Harpies cannot be attacked by the mages in this one, so... For some reason that tickled his funny bone. Man's a masochist. Also a dark elf if you can't tell. Probably was born in one of the caves I'm searching those ores ever so desperately for. Hey, what's he doing? Oh! Was quick to cast that. He just got him back a little bit though. Yeah, again, revival in this game. Oh wait, hold on. This should hurt him quite a bit because it's physical. Ooh! Yeah, I figured to go with that instead of Aura Shot because I figured he'd have some magic resistance. Tree Fort being more physical. Yeah. And him not having a lot of HP, I bet another one would just take him out straight away. Let's try it out. Oh. No, I'm sorry. You shouldn't be sorry. Oh. And down goes the castle and all of its men. And yeah, I'm expecting some levels out of that. Most of those people were high levels, so that's who you want to take out, and that's why I made the time to come this way. But yeah, revival in this game, it costs more MP, it's more random in terms of how many troops you get back, so it's arguable how useful it is in this one as opposed to Dragon Force 1. The only good thing about it here is it has the possibility of giving you back all of your troops, even 100. That's extremely useful. 100 troops for 5 MP, but the thing is, it's so random. As far as I can tell, there's really no way to work that in your favor. There's no way to manipulate that to get the number of troops you really want or need, so... if you enjoy your games of roulette, well, they've got you covered. I don't mind taking a chance here and there, but I don't like it to be so up in the air. Personally. Yeah, let's take a look at some of these castles, some of these people. See how everybody's doing. Maybe redistribute some of these high intellect people into places that could use their expertise a little bit more. I don't want everybody bunched up in one castle or 2 castles. Probably not the best use of our resources. Yeah, Miyuka, we're going to send her down to Rosarto, where some people are already on the move. Armband. Yeah. Let's see, he's got just a few people there. He's got one at the castle there, encroaching upon Moon Palace. And this was Kanemitsu, right, who ran away? Yeah. Still trying to figure out how he pulled that one off. But it's fine. Mouse meet cat. Cat, open up. And enjoy. The cat for this evening will be played by Fujimaru, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give him a standing ovation. Haha, but you see what he did there. Apparently, they had some reserves at that castle, so he was able to replenish. But you know what? He didn't have time to replenish what? Well, look up top there. Yeah. His health. So guess what we're gonna do? Because we know he's not gonna run away. Not with 40 troops. No. You know, he's getting senile. He doesn't know better. So we'll end it quick for him. We're nothing if not merciful here. I've got nothing but mercy. Oh, looked like he disappeared for a moment there. And let's see if we get a level out of that. Yeah, because he was pretty decent too, level 9. That ought to be some good experience for Fuji. Right, Fuji? Right. Got 2 out of it. Excellent. And no men were lost. Can't ask for too much more than that, can you? Ah, fantastic. We're actually going to take Bartz's men down because I'd like to see him get into more duels where he can end the fight faster. Courtesy of Arm de Blah. So we've got 2 options at this point. Well, really 3, but immediately we're faced with Tradnor and what's left of Tristan. I think at this point I would like to finish off Tristan. I'm going to take a moment to save just in case because things happen. And I think that's going to be it for this episode, everybody. Please join me next time where we hopefully face off against Ottovok finally for a battle of katana versus rapier. Have a wonderful day. Thanks again for watching and hopefully see you soon.